Hey everyone, this video I'm going to be introducing a concept of paying attention to how other people annoy you so that you don't annoy other people with the same behaviors. So this concept came to mind because I'm going to be visiting my grandparents at some point in the near future, and I was just thinking about two experiences that really pissed me off, but it gave me a learning experience so I wouldn't repeat what they did to other people, especially when I someday become a grandparent myself. So I had gone to visit my grandmother. She's about 80 years old. And you see, I have a big problem. I get very comfortable with where I go to the bathroom or take a shower. When I go to other people's homes, I don't necessarily feel the most comfortable in there. So I had gone to take a shower in my grandmother's bathroom, and I didn't want to turn the lights on. And she chases after me to say, hey, turn the lights on, and she wants to help me, and I had to stop her, and I screamed at her. And I really don't want to scream at my grandmother. She's 80 years old, it's not very healthy. But I know if I saw the bathroom, that would probably be the last time I ever went in there to take a shower. And it was really a very major emergency as far as I was concerned. But I was very, I felt sorry for having to do that. It just goes to show that you never know why people have quirky behaviors, and unless they're really putting themselves in danger or putting other people in danger or hurting somebody, it's best just not to say anything. I also had another bad experience with my other grandmother, and she grew up during the Great Depression. The Great Depression actually started a little bit later in Taiwan. And Taiwan had, I know a little bit of history. Taiwan had hyperinflation in the 40s, and then in 49, they switched currencies. Every 40,000 became one. So the Taiwan Great Depression was a little bit later. So my grandmother has this habit of telling us not to spoil our appetite before we go out for a meal. And that advice kind of doesn't work for me because I have some dietary restrictions, and I like to go to a restaurant having at least a 70% full stomach under my belt, so that if I don't find anything, I won't be terribly disappointed, and I can still socialize with other people at the table. My grandmother doesn't really subscribe to that, and she's a very, we're from a Taiwanese culture. She is a very aggressive. It has a very aggressive behavior to it. She'll literally hide the food or something like that, or just make a lot of noise. And to make a long story short, we go to the restaurant. I couldn't find the waiter had messed up my order, and I got a little bit agitated. If I had gone to that restaurant myself, and prepared for it, I probably wouldn't have behaved the way I did. And these two things really highlight the idea that unless somebody is really, really, really hurting themselves or somebody else, leave it alone. Sometimes I go to my when I go to my grandparents' home and they do something that I find a little bit awkward. My grandparents are not very good with technology, and sometimes they use the computer in a way that's really inefficient. I find it best to just leave it at that, unless they ask me for advice. Or I go to my girlfriend's home. She's a lot younger than me. She sometimes doesn't have all the wisdom, and she does something that I find very stupid. She, when she's talking to other friends and she says something that is really stupid, I just let it go. Unless she's really, really gonna hurt herself or something, which has never happened, I just bite my lips. Unless she asks me for advice, she has asked me for advice, how should I approach, some critical issue, and then I'll talk about it. But if it's just something silly and she might embarrass herself, I find it best to let her learn the lesson that way, because you never know why somebody is doing that. You don't want to intrude in some way, have unintended consequences. I don't think my grandparents wanted me to be upset or to be fearful of the shower. It was truly unintended, but it just goes to show when you pry at other people for stupid things, you don't know what you're poking your finger into. Thanks for watching.